Welcome to the Whiskey Podcast. My name is Justin Fisher, and today is a very special podcast because I have on the phone James and Chris from Ashes to Omens. James is the lead singer, and Chris is here. And we're going to be talking to the band today. Last week we debuted their song "War Cry," which it's become one of my favorite songs. Very good message. So we're going to talk to the band today. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring them on. James, Chris, you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, I'm glad you guys are here. So give us the viewers a little bit. How did you guys form up? How did you all meet?
So we met in 2017.
Right.
So back in, I think it was June, officially 2017. And all of us had been in and out of bands over the past 10 or so years, and did various things. And so I wanted to start another band, and found a guitarist who I'd known for quite some time, and he put me in touch with another guy, and I hit it right off. He's still our lead guitarist now, David Gaines. And from there, me and him just started working on music, and a couple weeks later, I found a drummer, and hit it off with him, and he told us about his cousin who plays bass, and it just kind of fell in place from there. It's been pretty much, music ever since. I guess you could say. It all kind of worked out.
Nice. Now, Chris, you're the bass player, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what got you into playing the bass?
Well, it's kind of funny. When I was about, 12, 13 years old, one of my cousins would go to this place in Athens near the Carbide Cinemas off Lexington. He took bass lessons, and he would kind of show me things here or there. Like I think the first song I ever learned to play on bass was "Vampires" by Godsmack.
Nice one.
And from there, I really wanted to be a guitar player, but something about the bass just made me want to play it, because to me, the bass player often gets overlooked. So I wanted to kind of take that role that isn't really looked at and make it be looked at. And getting on stage, you can kind of see that I try to get as much attention as I can. So it made me, and I just love the bass guitar. To me, it gives it that deep, I can't really describe it. It gives that deep meaning to a song. If you play the bass and you listen for the bass, then you can actually train yourself to hear it. You appreciate it a lot more. So I think that's what kind of drew me to the bass guitar.
What was some of your bass heroes, I guess?
Oh man, Nikki Sixx.
Oh, nice one.
Motley Crue, Robbie Merrill from Godsmack, Les Claypool. I can't think of her name, but she's the bass player in Sick Puppies. She's got a interesting name. I'm not sure where she's from, but I can't remember. But them and John Cooper from Skillet, awesome bass player. Mike Rodden from Hinder. Those are just to name a few.
Right. Yeah, I think Sick Puppies is an Australian band. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
I do like their stuff. Now, James, lead vocalist, the focal point of the band sometimes. Where do you pull your musical influences from? Who's some of the singers that you modeled yourself after?
I think Brent Smith from Shinedown's always been a huge influence of mine. Chris Cornell, from obviously Soundgarden's modern and grunge sound has always resonated really well with me. Benjamin Burley from Breaking Benjamin. I think those three are the main ones that I think have always kind of, especially on the rock side, it's always really influenced me. So I think I try to, when I write, I feel like that influence, it translates into the music we write.
Right. Now, Athens, Georgia. What's the music scene like in Athens, Georgia?
Well, I think that depends on who you ask. I think it depends on who you ask and what kind of music you play. I think it can be great for all genres, and it also can be really bad for all genres.
Right.
I can't say as a band that we have yet to play in Athens where it wasn't a bad, where it was, was a bad show.
Mm-hmm.
And knock on wood, that's never been a case. I think every venue we've ever played in Athens has always been, packed out when we're playing, and we're very fortunate for that. I've been in bands and played shows in Athens. It was, rock and indie rock. There was, 4 or 5 people there, and sometimes less than that. So, I think it depends on who you ask and the type of music that you're playing. And I also think what Athens likes comes in spells. Sometimes you might hear a huge rage about, super indie pop punk type stuff 1 minute, and then the next minute, it's super heavy death metal that's in. So I really just think it all depends, man. And it's a season. I think Athens is a seasonal music scene.
Right.
And that's unfortunate, but
right is and both of you, what's it like trying to get a foothold in the business? Say like your first show as Ashes. What's that process like, trying to get a name for yourself, getting booked, and things of that nature? Because I understand that even though rock bands have been around for a long time, there's still that glamour where I just need one good song, we're gonna be the next Hinder or something like that, So what was the process for you guys?
Chris, you want to start on that one?
Well, I guess when you first start out anywhere in the music industry, first people have to take a chance on you as far as venues are concerned, booking you and everything. And James call around venues asking, hey, can you have us play? And they don't know us from the next band in line. They may put us on, but it's up to us to bring a crowd there,
right,
and gain a following and gain a reputation. Once you start gaining a reputation, it kind of starts flowing together. But the hardest part was that initial game, getting the first people there. And we started off with, it's mainly started off with our significant others, mostly watching us play. And some of the people that were coming from the other bands that were on the bill heard us. And, but along the way, we picked up a fan base. And to me, the hardest part was that initial start. And then, it started flowing together a little bit more. The more, it also helps having other bands on the bill for these venues, because they bring their fans and their fans turn into your fans. So the starting process was kind of difficult, but it starts flowing together after a while. So that's pretty much my take on it.
There's
also,
go ahead.
Kind of add on to that. I think it helps to have a vision, for what your goal is. Where you're wanting to go, what you're wanting to do, where you see yourself at, and how you plan on getting there. And that was one of the things that initially the 4 of us, had that conversation about, was, where we saw each other, going musically, the direction that we wanted to take, and we basically mapped out a plan on how we were going to do it, how we were going to execute it, and it, so far it's worked, and we're constantly adding to that plan. And, I feel like every independent band, that's ever been together, I feel like everybody has that story about, that first show was, this or that. But I feel like our first show really kind of set a lot of expectations, and we went into it. We had already had a music video cut, a single release before we even played our first show. So I think that made a huge difference on the plan and where we were starting versus where we were, planning on going. And I think that made a lot of venues open up their eyes and maybe raise some eyebrows towards what we were potentially capable of doing, because we took it a lot more seriously than a lot of other bands.
Mm-hmm. Do you think your social media presence? Do you think that the way the social media influences on the music industry today, you think that's helping artists like you, or is it kind of hurting? Or is it giving you like an express shot? We kind of talked about this before the recording. That, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, when you say that, do you mean like personal social media, or do you mean like the band social media?
Like the band, like you guys are on SoundCloud and all these other venues. Is that giving you like an express route to your vision, or is that kind of like are you kind of getting grouped in with the rest of those bands that do that same way?
Well, I kind of view like funny that you mentioned that because I mean that all boils down to marketing. And
Right.
I was having a conversation about marketing, with publicists and PR representatives, 2 hours ago, with Chris about this, very thing. So I feel like there's always room for growth in some capacity via social media platforms, and marketing plans and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you want to grow. You want to grow naturally, right?
Right.
On all platforms, but it's hard to target demographics equally on all platforms because it always seems like one specific platform always suffers. So you have to find a way to reach people on these various platforms to hopefully grow that fan base, organically. And that's the trick, is being able to do it and say, oh well, so that when venues look at your social media numbers and streams and all that, they're not saying, oh well, they have 100,000 likes on Facebook, but only 20 people follow them on Twitter. So that's the battle. That's
right.
Trying to find that middle ground. It looks good on all fronts. That's ultimately the graph of success.
Yeah, I agree to that. And James also brought up, they got so many likes on Facebook, but only 20 followers on Twitter. I mean, a lot of the pressure comes from, when you ask to get booked at these venues or, you ask for this, that, and the other with these publicists or whatever, they're going to look at how many likes you have, how many views you have, how many streams you have. So there's a lot of pressure there to get the numbers up.
Right.
And keep them growing. So, yeah, I mean, it helps, but it also puts a lot of pressure on you.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of SoundCloud, a lot of your music's out there, and I was listening to it earlier. Is there a certain song that sticks out to both of you? Chris, I'd like to start with you as a bass player. What's one of your favorite songs that you like to absolutely just play?
One of our songs or another band song?
We'll do one of your songs, and we'll talk about your favorite song to play from another band.
I really enjoy playing Warcry.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love playing the Conflict Within. It has a lot of, I move around the fretboard a lot on that song, and it's real fun to do that. And, some of our older songs, like I really enjoy playing Break because it's got a real heavy bass-driven song. I mean, a lot of times it goes off with just bass and drums and vocals. So, I mean, I enjoy playing all of our songs, but those are three that I really enjoy playing, I guess would be, and also Let the Devil Loose.
Right.
It's a lot of fun to play too. That's probably my picks for our songs. For other bands, that's tough. 'Cause I can play a little bit of Motley Crue. I can play some Breaking Benjamin. I can play some Godsmack. It just depends on what mood I'm in. We were gonna, when we had booked a 3-hour show one time, we were looking to do some covers to fill some time in because we didn't quite have 3 hours worth of original material. So we had to learn a few covers, and one of the covers we were going to attempt to do was a song called Square Hammer by Ghost, and I wasn't familiar with Ghost. But I listened to the song, I learned how to play, and I actually found myself enjoying playing it more than, any other songs, even though I'm not really a big Ghost fan. I like that song, but that's about it. So it really just honestly depends on my mood, but I'm probably some of the funner stuff to play is Motley Crue. I love 80s music, I love classic rock.
Right.
And that's one of my biggest influences. So probably Motley Crue would be a good pick for me.
What's the one song, before I get to James, what's the one song that when you were learning to play bass, that when you finally got it, you're like, yeah, I'm here? That one song that you were always going after?
Ooh, that was tough. Probably, I'd have to say the one that I got down that we've played and that I've actually done something with that isn't ours would probably be Kickstart My Heart, because it's very, I'll just say it's odd. It's an oddly timed song, so it's hard to know when to hit the chord at the right time, and you really got to follow the drums. And to me, that song is really, the drum beat in that song is really offbeat. So it took a minute to get that pattern down, and when I did, I felt really accomplished in it. But we played that song a few times at some of our shows, and people really loved us playing it. So it was kind of a necessity for me to get it down. And I was pretty proud of myself when I did. And also, same old situation, because it has a really unique bass fill towards the bridge, and it's a lot of fun to play.
Nice. James, as a vocalist, is there any certain songs that you just enjoy particularly singing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as far as our stuff is concerned, a lot of the songs that you mentioned, Conflict Within, Let the Devil Loose, is definitely one of my favorite songs. War Cry, on my first album, I'm a big fan of Rise. So those four main songs are probably the songs that I at least have the most fun with.
Right.
When we're playing them, because I relate to them, so much, and it makes a difference when you can relate to a song, personally and passionately. And I think it, shows when you play the song, whether you're on an instrument or whether you sing the song. I think people can tell the difference. So definitely those four songs from our albums.
Is there any certain, you mentioned a lot of vocalists. Is there any certain Shine Down song or something like that you like to crush?
I think, well, not necessarily Shine Down, because I've never.
Right.
We covered we covered one Shine Down song that I'm a pretty big fan of. But I think what for vocals, I think what did it for me is years ago I covered "Show Me How to Live" by Audioslave, and
great song.
That for me, that song is incredible by itself. And I was able to actually sing that song. I was like, oh my God, I can actually do this. Maybe I do have some sort of singing ability, right? And that, and then Chris mentioned "Kickstart My Heart," and I'm a big fan of doing that song too. I love our version of that song, and everybody enjoys it when we play it. So I think those songs specifically, for sure.
So you've been touring. You've gone on some tours, correct?
Yeah. Some small tours, yeah.
Yeah. Who have you toured with?
Well, ironically, it's been us that's going on the tour, and it's been people coming with us.
Really?
To shows.
That's great.
It's a lot of the tough stuff that we've booked tour-wise has been shows that we've booked, tours that we've booked on our own, and venues has asked for us in various states, so we've went and played, and people's been opening for us. So that's a good thing. But on the flip side of that, we haven't had an opportunity to get on tour with someone else, like someone huge, like Shine Down or Breaking Benjamin or anybody like that, which would be amazing, which is, the end game, right?
Right.
But also, the tours we do is, a lot of the stuff that we've been done is we've been reaching out to the venues. We've been booking the tours, at least up until COVID happened. And, booked all the shows, and we brought bands, to go with us. So, shout out to those bands, a lot of local bands from, states that's opened up for us and, helped us make the tour successful.
What's your favorite tour memory to date?
Chris, what do you think?
It could be a location too.
Well, mine would probably, one of my favorite tour memories would be the Rehab show where we opened up for Rehab here in Houston, Georgia. The reason I would say that was one of my favorite memories is, first of all, you're playing with a major label band, which was kind of, really not often. It's kind of rare that, local bands get to do that, or even regional bands get to do that. But one of the things, the reason why I say that is because one thing that stuck out in my head was, it was after the show, we were done playing our set, and we posted something on our Facebook about, thanks for everybody that came out to the show, yada, yada, yada. There was a guy that commented on it that said, I brought my son to his first ever concert to see Rehab, but you guys stole the show. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
Great.
To be put up like, where people came out to see Rehab, but suddenly their focus went to us. That was pretty major for us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge compliment there.
Yeah, it was.
And shout out to Rehab, because those are great guys. We had a great time with them, and we love them to death. They're great guys. So. And they're Georgia boys too. So.
Oh, nice. Well, gentlemen, we're running short on time here. I'll give you guys a chance. Any last remarks or anything you would like to say to the audience?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anybody that hasn't had a chance to check us out, please check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud. Anywhere you get your music, like Spotify or iTunes. Follow us there. Your like, your comment, your subscribe, it really does make a difference to musicians and getting people in places, getting people booked. And if you like our music, share our music. We've got the new single War Cry that's coming out on October 2nd. It'll be on all streaming platforms. You call your radio stations, recommend War Cry. It's already getting FM rotation in a lot of towns in the U.S. So call that, demand that song, because it really, especially right now, we need music to lift people up, and this is about lifting people. This song's about lifting people up, addressing anxiety, PTSD, depression, and social and mental awareness. So request this song. People need to hear this song.
Great. Chris, you got anything?
James pretty much covered everything, and I'm looking forward to getting back out there and playing more shows. I'm getting bored doing my 9-to-5 job. I need to get out and play some music and unleash the beast a little bit.
I like it. Well, gentlemen, it's a great honor to have you on the show. I look forward to seeing your future work, and we'll make sure to post all the links to your stuff here. For War Whiskey Podcast, my name is Justin Fisher, signing off.